Sorry about that, babe.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another pickups video. This pickup video is going to pretty much be chronicling everything over the course of most of November. There's only like a week or so left. And also at least probably like more than, yeah, almost all of October and most of November. So a month and a half, close to 2 months worth of pickups. It's going to be, again, kind of all over the place. So we're just going to dive right in and get to it. So first, we have International, right? Track and Field 2000 on the N64. So this is part of my wedding gift, I guess you could say, from Alpha's back. We have like kind of a running gag at this point where pretty much he just keeps getting me Olympic Games, specifically on the N64. Coupled with that, he got me Nagano Winter Olympics, the Japanese version, on the N64. So you can actually play these on the American consoles, but the big difference is the back of the cartridge is different. So you see like the security tabs, if you will, they're different on the Japanese version. So unless you have like an adapter or like a region modded console or a Japanese console, you'd have to just swap out the back of the shell. But thank you, Chris, for now I own the complete in-box copy in English and Japanese. Wow, what a classic game series there, right? All right. Next, we're actually gonna get into a couple of loose games. I haven't even cleaned them up yet. The one's like disgusting. So I went through my gigantic NES haul inventory that I still had left over from back in July. And there was actually 2 games that I thought that I had taken out from my collection that I didn't. Common titles, but they're just games that I did not have yet, so might as well put them into the collection. And that's regular Jeopardy. This whole time I thought that I had this, but I actually only had Junior Jeopardy, Jeopardy 25th Anniversary Edition or something, but I never had this one. And I didn't realize that until I started doing my my full inventory, so that's gonna get cleaned up and put on the shelf. And then World Cup, Nintendo World Cup Soccer for the regular Nintendo. So I have, what is it? I think it might be volleyball and World Cup put together on one cartridge, but I didn't have this specific version. But again, went through the inventory, found a couple doubles in there and realized, oh, didn't have this one, so that one is going in as well. Where to go? Okay, I guess we'll just start over here. So I picked up the Super Metroid Manual. Now I just need the box for this game. It's in pretty good condition. I've had the cartridge for quite some time. I have the strategy guide, the official Nintendo Power, or not Nintendo Power. It might be an official Nintendo Power strategy guide, but it's an official Nintendo strategy guide at least. And now I have the instruction booklet, so I'm just trying to find a box. And we're gonna get into it in a little bit, but I don't care if it's the regular retail version or if it's the not for resale version that's still technically a Nintendo product. Next, a pickup that I got off of Mercari, and when I looked at sold listings on eBay, this was about 70% off of sold listings, so I jumped on it pretty quickly. And that is Nemesis on the Game Boy. It is like a shooter. It's pretty, I will admit, I played it for a little bit. It's actually kind of slow. It's cool, but it's a little bit slow. It's probably an earlier title if I actually look at the date. 1990, sort of early. This is complete in box, in pretty good shape, and the price that this was listed on Mercari, I couldn't even pass it up just because it's like, it's either you're getting a great deal on it, or if I decide to flip it or something in the future, I should be able to make a profit on it. So either way, I just jumped on it. I'll beat it at some point, at the very least, but I'll probably end up keeping it. I'm a hoarder, so pretty much only sell shit if it's like a double, you know what I mean? Next, we have the old school controller. I know there's wires everywhere, but I don't feel like I'm doing it. So it's for the GameCube, and this is specifically pretty much designed to be played with the GameCube Game Boy Advance player. Or I guess maybe if there's games that don't require the extra stick or the analog stick. So yeah, pretty cool. Whenever I get to some playthroughs on my Game Boy Advance player, I'll definitely be using this. It feels a little cheap. It definitely feels a little cheap, but it had decent reviews. Hori might have made an official one. I could be completely wrong. I could be mixing that up with Super Game Boy, because I think they made a Super Game Boy controller back in the day, but I've always wanted something like this, and I'm gonna get to some more GameCube stuff in the near future, specifically using the Game Boy Advance player, so figured I'd get it, and I actually got it for basically free because I had a coupon that I was completely unaware of. Alright, next, some caveats here, so I'll have to go over them as we go through the games. First, we have The Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse, which, by the way, I reviewed on my channel recently, so check that shit out if you haven't already. This is a game that I had the manual and the cartridge, and I found a pretty decent priced box on eBay. It's you know, not in perfect shape, obviously, but as long as stuff is structurally sound and not like completely ripped, I will buy it if it's at a good price. And this was at a good price. Very fun game. I just wanted to complete it, and now I have. Next, this is part of a lot, so like I would never go out of my way to buy this one, but it was part of a lot of these 4 games specifically. Official for display only boxes. So these were the boxes that were like on display in stores like, well, I guess when these were released, it was Electronics Boutique and not GameStop. Probably places like Toys R Us and shit like that. But I got one for Vegas Stakes. This is a game that I had only cartridge only, surprisingly. And since I got the box in the lot, I decided to buy the manual as well. It's pretty cheap on eBay, like $3 or $4. So this is a complete copy, but with the 4 display only box. The one thing that I will say about the 4 display only boxes, you probably can't see it as much because this isn't like a perfect camera or anything by any means, but it's a little bit less print quality than the official boxes, but you know what, whatever. If you could save some money and it's still authentic, then I'm all for it. And now getting into the reasons why I bought this lot, I'll specifically order them. First is Ken Griffey Jr. Winning Run, again 4 display only box for the SNES. I guess I'll get this over here too. So I surprisingly did not have the manual for this. I thought that I did, so I had to track down the manual, but now this is complete. It does not have the limited offer inside, I don't think, unless the limited, actually, you know what, the limited offer I think is connected to the, in the back of the instruction manual, you could buy a bunch of Ken Griffey Jr. memorabilia, like hats and shirts and stuff, so it's probably what they were referring to. Running out of space here already. Next, this is from the same lot, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. I had the cart and the manual for this already, so now this is just the 4 display only box, which now makes this complete. Pretty cool. This is one of the main reasons why I bought the lot. Trying to make room. Along with the final box from the lot, which is just the F-Zero Player's Choice, which is like the greatest hits version. 4 display only box. Had the cartridge and the manual, but did not have the box. It's not particularly a very expensive game complete or anything like that, and I think for a while sealed copies were floating around for pretty cheap too. But F-Zero is one of my favorite racers, definitely one of my favorite racers, probably my favorite racing game on the SNES, to be honest with you. I wish it was just multiplayer though. So I really wanted to get this complete. No, my cartridge is the regular version, not the Player's Choice version, so there's a little bit of mismatching going on. I don't have the gold whatever on the label, but you know what? It's complete now. I'm happy with it as is, so as long as I'm happy, that's all that matters, right? Alright, next we have Mickey Mania on the SNES. I know the Sega CD version is typically regarded in a more favorable fashion compared to the SNES version, but this is another one that I had the cartridge and had the manual lying around, and I was like, yeah, can I get a box for cheap? And I think I ended up getting it for like $10 or something. And you know me, I love my my Disney games from the 16-bit era, and low-key I also love like Sony games on the SNES. I actually have another one coming right up. And also Hook was published by Sony, I believe. But yeah, fun game. Hope to get to it sometime soon. I never beat it. I just played around with it a little bit here and there when I was a kid. But yep, got it complete now, so I'm happy with that. Just got the box. And going along with the Sony string here, I ended up getting the box finally for Bram Stoker's Dracula on the SNES. It is now complete. I already had the cartridge and the manual. Fun game. It's one of those games that's like, if you're looking at it objectively, I could see people rating this like a D or a C. But I like it a lot. It's like a B for me. I don't know, it has like nostalgia factor because I rented it as a kid. I played it at my neighbor's house. And then, what was it? Earlier last year in 2020, I beat it, and then I beat it on the hard mode with no continues. I probably beat this game like 6 or 7 times over the course of like a month. I don't know, I just get enjoyment out of it. I like horror themed stuff. I love the movie. It's a really, really rough game, but there's cool visuals and it's a cool soundtrack, and figured, fuck it, time to get the box, you know what I mean? It's one of those important games for me, right? And now it's kind of like the real vampire game, right? Super Castlevania IV complete in box. Prior to acquiring this, which was pretty pricey, by the way, got this as a wedding present to myself. I only had the cartridge. I did not have the manual or the box. This is by far one of my favorite games of all time. I'd say probably top 10 SNES, potentially top 5 for me. I fucking love this game. To me, this is the best Castlevania game ever made. I really wanted the manual in the box, so I ended up getting a complete copy, and then I flipped the cartridge that came in here, because the cartridge that came in here was one of those shitty Made in Mexico ones. For anybody that's collected SNES, or even mildly knows anything about it, you'll know what I mean. The ones with the crappy labels, the cartridge shells are a little different. I kept my original one because it's just better quality, and I put it inside of the box. And unfortunately, the Made in Mexico ones have the black and white manuals. There is a color version of this manual, which maybe I'll get someday if the price is right, but for now I'm pretty happy with this. This is not a holy grail, but it's a grail item of mine. Not a holy grail, just a regular grail. I'm very glad to add that to the collection. Next, I think this was purchased probably like towards the tail end, or like right when I recorded my last pickups video. A complete copy of Enindo Way of the Ninja by Koei on SNES, which is a somewhat archaic looking RPG. It's got a lot of very interesting elements. Koei typically has strategy games like Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Nobunaga's Ambition, excuse me, so on and so forth. But this is a more traditional-ish RPG, at least by their standards. If I remember correctly, the thing that makes this game unique is you could recruit like party members like on the fly, like throughout your, I don't know, exploration and whatnot. I heard that it can be pretty difficult, and much like most Koei games of the time, a little bit of a learning curve, but this is completely complete. Even has like the poster map manual thing in it or whatever, so pretty happy to get this. Got it for a pretty decent price. I do hope to get to this one soon. If I end up recording a Koei SNES game for my YouTube channel, it's probably going to end up being this one. So pretty happy to add that along in my quest here to complete every single SNES RPG and NES RPG at some point, whether it's turn-based strategy or action RPG. So that's like my long-term goal. Next, we have Faxanadu on the NES. One of the final streams that I ever did. Might not have been the final one. I think it was this, and I had my internet problems, and then I went to Star Wars? No, this was after Star Wars, I think. I don't remember. This is one of my final streams, though. My final stream was technically Silent Hill, and then before that I think was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I never finished this. I'm gonna finish this soon. I will finish this for the channel. I had just the cartridge, and like I said, I'm trying to complete like all my RPGs. I consider this an RPG. It's sort of like in the vein of Zelda 2. It's like it's like an action RPG, old school, side-scrolling. There's elements. I got the box and the manual. I pieced this together. I now have an extra copy of Faxanadu, so if somebody needs it, hit me up for a quick sale or a trade or something like that. But it's in pretty good shape, and I really did enjoy this game, so I'm happy to add this to the collection. Alright, almost getting done here. Let me see. Let's organize these a little bit better for you guys. Sure, that looks fine. Okay. Next, we have Baseball Stars 2 on the NES, and this is complete. Complete, even has like the registration, mail-away cards and stuff like that. I love the Baseball Stars series. I think Baseball Stars is the best baseball game ever made, especially for the NES. That's like goes without question to me. I think it's better than RBI Baseball. I think it's better than Bases Loaded, all that shit. But this was a pretty good price. I got it on Mercari. I want to say I paid like $50 or something, and I already had a cartridge, which I'm currently trying to sell on eBay. The market's not as hot as you would think. I would have thought Baseball Stars 2 would have that kind of like niche market where people would just go in and try to buy it right away for a good price. I've had the cheapest buy it now on eBay for weeks. Go on, people. Check it out. But anyway, very happy to add this complete. I also have Baseball Stars 1 complete, so now I have the duo complete. And maybe I'll do a season mode one day. Probably won't do that for fucking YouTube though, but maybe I'll try a season mode. I've pretty much only been, like, as far as sports games go, I've been playing them against friends that come over, or I do like one-offs against the computer here and there, but I haven't done season modes in a while, so we'll see. Okay, I guess I'll maybe get to this now. Get that out of the way. Try not to drop everything. In the last video I dropped like everything. You know what? I'll show this first. Pretty cool little freebie that I got from my buddy Bobby, who is a manager at GameStop. It is a colored t-shirt for Elden Ring. So obviously the release date's wrong because it got delayed to February, but this was the original one. And then on the back here, Rise tarnished with the old release date. You know what? I will be giving this a good wash and break this shit in and play it on, and wear it when I'm playing on release day. So thank you, Bobby. Probably the most random pickup I'll end up having. But speaking of random, this is the final part of the oh sorry, I don't want to reveal your real name, Alpha's Back 1 wedding gift. This is basically Disney Dance Dance Revolution for the N64. I did not know that the N64 had a Dance Dance Revolution type of game, let alone a Disney one. Comes complete with the gamepad and everything, so we, next time we hang out, which I think will be probably sometime next weekend as of the recording of this video, we're gonna bust this shit out and play it over there on that TV. So, thank you, Alf. Appreciate it. And we're getting down to the final stretch here for the pickups. Start with this one first, I guess. So this is a game that was released on multiple platforms. Actually, the guy aforementioned, Alf. He and I rented it back in high school, and we really enjoyed it. I kind of want to get a upgrade for the case. The case is a little beat right now, but we'll see. And that is Metal Arms Glitch in the System, which is a pretty fun little third-person shooting action adventure type of game where you play as a robot. I wanted the GameCube version because this is the version that we played the most as a kid. I believe it is out on PS2 and probably Xbox. I can't confirm Xbox off the top of my head, but I do know it's on PS2. But anybody that knows me as far as that generation goes, I loved Xbox. I did have a lot of Xbox games. I played a lot of Xbox, mostly because of Madden, but I was always a GameCube boy. I had my GameCube first, and then I got my Xbox second. So, super stoked to add this. I will do a playthrough of this for the channel at some point, or at the very least a review. I've been meaning to beat it ever since we rented it. I just never got my hands on it until now. And the final four, we're gonna essentially do two at the same time. For those of you that know me, I love the Shining Force series. You can see behind my bald head I have Shining Force 1 and 2 posters. I most recently uploaded a Shining Force 1 playthrough. There will be a Shining Force 2 playthrough up soon, and I'm coming out with some videos for them as well to go a little bit more in depth into the game. So anyways, after the Sega Saturn, so after Shining Force 3, Shining Wisdom, Shining the Holy Ark, the series kind of veered really far off the path. The Shining Soul was pretty fun on the Game Boy Advance, but they completely like abandoned the strategy RPG sort of feeling for it, which is why I fell in love with it. Shining Force 1, Shining Force 2, Shining Force CD, sort of Hagia, Gaiden, all those games are the reason why I love it. I also love Shining in the Darkness, Holy Ark, the dungeon crawling stuff's fun, but anything like really in the PS2 era and beyond, kind of really just, they kept the Shining name, but it's not really the same. Yes, they have some characters sometimes, or at least character names from the originals in the games, but they don't have that same feel, they don't have that same look, they're not strategy RPGs anymore per se. In saying that, I am a big fan of the series, so I wanted to complete it out, and I want to give these games their, like, a fair shot, I guess, because apparently some of them aren't that bad, but I've always neglected them because I'm like, fuck that, that's not Shining Force, you know what I mean? So, I actually have some more games coming soon, which will be in the next pickup video, but I at least have two for now. First is Shining Force Neo on the PS2. I've had the disc for quite some time. I got it from a GameStop blowout sale back in the day when they still had PS2 discs. So I found the manual in box on Mercari for like super cheap compared to eBay, so I swooped that up pretty quickly. The artwork's a little torn up here, but like honestly, I saved like, I don't know, 30-something% off of what it was going for on eBay, so I'm happy with that. It looks decent. I don't know what to say. It's like a sort of a hack and slash. I don't even know if you, I guess it's sort of an RPG, but it seems like more of a hack and slash type of game. I see that Max is involved. I don't know if it's the same Max. I guess you can kind of tell me that it does look similar to him, so we'll see. And the last part of the Shining pickups for this video at least is Shining Resonance Refrain on the Switch. I also have it on the PC. I managed to get a PC code for like $2 or something ridiculous, but anyways. Comes with a thing to install the Japanese voice pack. I don't even think it's a DLC, I think it's just like a random insert. Came out on many different platforms. I wanted to get it on the Switch and PC. PC for performance, Switch for portability. I heard like decent things about it. It's your typical RPG, but I think there's a lot of musical elements because it says create music with the band system to enhance your powers. So I don't know if that's like a Japanese bard system or some shit. I have no idea. And I heard that there might be like dating stuff and relationships in this. I don't know. I get really turned off when it comes to like relationships and dating in my RPGs. Like I just have no desire for that shit, which is part of the reason why I didn't play the new Fire Emblem. Part of the reason why I don't care about Persona at all. But I owe my allegiance to the Shining series. I will play this someday, and if I end up hating it, oh well, it didn't cost too much. So happy to add it to the collection. I want to get a complete Shining collection at some point, so I needed to get it. And my last two pickups, well, the one is probably my favorite. It is my favorite pickup of the whole month. Castlevania, Super Castlevania 4 was definitely my second favorite, but this is probably my third favorite. The Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition promotional disc for the GameCube. Comes with a little special offer thing. I don't know if an actual manual came in here or not. Doesn't really matter too much to me. But basically what this is a playable demo of the Wind Waker, Zelda 1, Zelda 2 on the NES, the two Zelda games on the N64, Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, and you can play it on the GameCube. So it's pretty sick. And apparently there was another one that came out similar to this. I think it has a red cover. I think it's like, it might be Ocarina of Time and then the Master Quest. I'd like to get that as well, mostly for the Master Quest. So, blasphemy, I know, I still have never beaten Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, or Zelda 2 for that matter. I beat the first Zelda like 3 or 4 times. And I got really far in Wind Waker in high school and I got sidetracked. But anyway, pretty sick. Happy to add it. Got it for about $10 to $15 below what it goes for on eBay. And I am a GameCube guy. I'm trying not to go too hard in the GameCube collection because it's pretty freaking expensive right now, unfortunately. But happy to add that. And now the final pickup for this video. My favorite pickup by far. Also the most expensive. I got this, for those of you that don't know, my cat Razor, I had to put him down a few weeks ago. It's actually almost been close to a month probably. This was my pick-me-up purchase that I made for myself to help myself feel better. And that is Skies of Arcadia Legends on the GameCube. This is a remake slash pseudo enhancement of the Dreamcast version from what I understand. There are a couple things that apparently are better in the Dreamcast version. I think the sound is better in the Dreamcast version from what I heard, but this one seems to be rather definitive, mostly because I guess they lowered the random encounter rate, because I guess it was pretty bad in the Dreamcast version. But again, referencing Alf once more, he loved this RPG back in high school. Unfortunately, he had gotten rid of it when I bought and pillaged through him and his brother's video game collection years ago. This was not there, and now it's really pricey. I got it for a decent price. It is complete, which was a big sticking point for me. I need my manuals and shit when it comes to RPGs. The disc is weird. So the disc itself is totally fine. And I booted it up and played for a few minutes, totally fine. I don't know if you guys could see it. You could see it a little bit. Like, look around in between the Sega logo and the GameCube logo. There's a line. And there's a line in between the Skies of Arcadia logo and the Sega logo. No, that is not a design on the thing. It's the top label, I guess, of the disc is sort of cracked and sort of peeling. I have no fucking clue how that happened, and I'll be honest with you, pretty sure it wasn't mentioned in the auction, but the bottom of the disc is totally fine, and structurally it's sound, and obviously it's in safe hands now, and I tested it out, so everything was fine, but I probably wouldn't have bought it if I would have realized that. Might have been on me, I don't know, who knows. Anyways guys, that's the pickups video, so hopefully y'all enjoyed it. I will be back at some point probably in the next month or two with another one. Until then, take care, hope you enjoyed, and like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.